So I put Bunny in the chicken coop now, and because we got it built up, and I think it's okay. I don't know if he's going to be happy in here. Right now he's scared because I just put him in. But I put his favorite foods in here. I put a couple different kinds of lettuce from my garden, and some corn, beet greens, radish greens, celery, green beans, and cauliflower and cabbage, red cabbage. He doesn't like cabbage, but you know, I figure it's probably good for him. I put his favorite toy in there. It's, I don't know, it's like a pumice stone, but he rounded off the corners, so it's like a ball, and he rolls it around. Anyway, he's scared. But, yeah. I'll show you what all I did. I put this in here, this coat, so that in case he can't make it up the little ramp, he still will be warm. And there's that. And in there, see, you can see the coat that I put in there that James donated, and then my little pajama top, which the dogs over the years have chewed off all the buttons on that pajama top. So rather than having to put the buttons back on, I just donated it to Bun Bun. But the coop looks quite lovely together. James and I are quite happy about it.
It worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
It'll hold together.
And with the coop instructions and a piece of wood, Kathy, my sister, sent along this, and she carted it all the way back from her vacation in Turkey.
Oh, she did a very, very good job of bringing stuff back.
But it's funny because, I mean, she would have paid huge postage sending this to us.
It's the thought, you know.
I know.
And the extra money makes it even more precious of a gift.
Yeah. Bunny's checking it out. He's like, where am I? I would have parked him. See, I parked him in the driveway, this isn't the best place for him to live. You know, he's probably thinking, why am I in a gravel driveway? This is terrible. But, because I could have parked him in the yard on top of the mint or something, and he would have been like, this is heaven. But, I don't know. I worry about people messing with Bunny. And this is a corner where, like, I have it all barricaded with tree branches over there, so people can't wander in from the alley that way. And so this is like the furthest point. So if people wander into my yard, they have to wander very far to get back here.
Well, they do it anyway.
I know, but they're less likely to mess with Bunny this way. Because I want him to be safe and happy. Yeah. So that's the whole point of putting this thing together. So anyway, I watched Jurassic World, which, I don't know, it's like all the other ones, and so if you like the other ones, you'll like that. This I expected to hate. It's a horror movie, and well, I don't like watching horror movies. I have to watch them.
You used to.
Well, I have to watch them over and over and over, the same thing, so that I am not scared of it anymore, right? Because you end up having to watch the horror movies for me when I just
parts of it,
yeah.
Hey Marlene, it's us. Don't worry.
Good, because I was just ready to think,
Yeah. Oh, you never know. Yeah. Tomorrow it could be, or later today it could be someone else.
Over at like that house that has the little brown thing.
But anyway, this was a good movie, and I don't like Toni Collette, but I don't want to give away any of the stories, so. For a horror, if you want a good spookin'. Yep. We watched this one.
Let me just come and see.
Euro Trip. Hilarious. It was so good. It has what's his face in it? The guy from. Anyway. Well, anyway, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer's sister is in this also, and what a funny movie. It came all the way from some little town. I have to open it up to see again because it's shocking that it came from there. For me, anyway, it shocked me because there's lots of boobs and stuff in this movie. From Rentham? And well, I had to ask James where it was because he's the one who knows all about geography and especially local geography, but everywhere. And it's close by, but it's like this nothing town has this movie with boobs, and not hers. You don't see her boobs, but anyway, very funny. Good movie for boys, for sure. Noam Chomsky, Media Control, The Spectacular Achievements of Propaganda. I have to return this right away because there's somebody else wants to give it a listen. But you'll notice, the first thing I noticed was the cover. And you'll see there's 8 newspaper boxes there. And 5 of them have been vandalized. Somebody wrote lies on 5 of them, but not on 3. And what I find interesting about this picture is that they left 3 of them without lies. So whoever vandalized these boxes either ran out of paint or actually approves of these 3 newspapers. But now, what I find interesting about this being on this box is that when I look at any information, I am wary of it. And I want to look at, well, there's Benny in the background. He's enjoying his home a little more. I want to look at or consider what the person's motivations are and stuff like that when they were writing this, whatever it is, when I'm reading things. And so I look at everything as lies and truth. I don't, I read everything. I watch everything, all kinds of documentaries on all sorts of things, or movies that I wouldn't necessarily like, or think I would like. I give it a watch, and I listen to Noam Chomsky, and he was talking about the bewildered masses, or something like that, bewildered herd. He doesn't even refer to people as masses, herd, in this several times. And I have asked people whether they like Noam Chomsky, and that's really when I ask people that, I'm trying to get a little bit of information about them. And it's like I actually don't really want to say because I use that a lot to try to get information about people, because Noam Chomsky is an anarchist. He is. And I've gotten a lot of information from people just asking that one question. So, if you like Noam Chomsky, and I will listen to him, I listen to all sorts of things, all sorts of people, all sorts of viewpoints, and I value learning. And I don't dismiss him entirely, because Bunny's eating in the background, cute, eh? Because he does value education to some point. He only seems to see the information he wants to see, but that's the case with most people. And when people tell me that they like Noam Chomsky, it gives me it really narrows down what kind of person they are, what they believe in. And so anyway, bewildered herd. So when people look at other people and they think of them as herd animals, it's really quite offensive. And if you listen to this and you think, wait, is he saying that Bush or whoever thinks of the general voting population as herd animals? Or consider that when you're listening to this, Noam Chomsky thinks of other voting people as herd animals. And that's what bothers me about Noam Chomsky. So, not that I have a problem with herd animals, but I don't know if Noam Chomsky eats meat. And when people refer to other people as animals, it's scary, actually. It's not just offensive, it's frightening that they think so little of other people. Bunny's getting a little more comfortable now. That's good to see. So, and I mean, one thing, when people say that they like Noam Chomsky, they tell me, without saying any more than that, they tell me that they think of Noam Chomsky as a kind of peer. And it's funny because I knew somebody once who had, you know how you can post different things on your Facebook page, and they'd done an IQ test, and they were in the 90s, and they posted that, and I felt so bad for them. And my mother said, boy, his mother must be really sad to see that, because she's a teacher. And anyway, what he was thinking is it was like 90%. He didn't realize that IQ, intelligent quotient, when he's in the 90s, he's actually below average. Anyway, and I've had, so he was really proud of that when he posted that. And I've had supervisors that, you know, pulling in big wages, like $100,000 a year and whatever, and they, like one guy, he would say, I know everything I need to know, and he was very, very confident in his abilities, and he had a grade 9 education, and the point that I'm trying to make is, when you know little, you don't realize that other people know more than you do. You don't have this idea of the fact that somebody, like, say, if you have 90 some IQ, you don't have any clue that somebody who has an 125 IQ might have a little more knowledge than you do, or 155 IQ or 185 IQ. You don't know. You just don't know. And I mean, you just think of say you have a 90 IQ, and you might think of, you might class yourself, you might think, oh, bewildered herd. Yeah, he's talking about the people with the 70 IQ, that boy are they dumb, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, when you listen to Noam Chomsky talking about the bewildered herd, consider that he is talking about you. You are not his peer. He is talking about you as being bewildered herd, and it's offensive. So, anyway, I don't know where James went. He wanted to talk about this too, and now he's not going to get a chance to. What else was he talking about? Oh, his whole achievements of propaganda, He was talking about people ignoring what the democratic, what did he say? Democratic Iraqi opposition, I think he called them, were saying. And it's like, okay, we would have to then, in order to consider that anything that he's saying is valid at all, we'd have to accept that there is, in fact, or was, or at any point in time, a democratic Iraqi opposition. But in any case, just when listening to this, consider that it's possible that